All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fascinating experiment from the absolute cutting edge of AI, one that completely rewires how we think about our roles at work and, honestly, even at home. Welcome to this explainer. We're going to unpack a massive breakthrough in how we look at team dynamics, organizational health, and personal strengths, pulling directly from Satvinder S. Thingra's brilliant essay, The 5 Functions Nobody Told You About. Seriously, prepare to shift your entire perspective on what you actually do every single day.
To really grasp this shift, we have to look at an amazing observation posted back in late June of 2026 by Boris Cherny. He's the engineer behind Claude Code over at Anthropic, and his team decided to run a pretty wild experiment. They completely dissolved all traditional job titles. No seniors, no leads, nothing. Everyone simply became a member of technical staff. But what happened next? What was fascinating? Within just a few weeks, 5 entirely distinct behavioral patterns naturally reemerged from the work itself, totally unbidden. People just organically started behaving in specific ways the second that artificial structure was stripped away.
He noticed that without the constraints of titles, people naturally gravitated toward 5 specific archetypes. Cherny called them the prototyper, the builder, the sweeper, the grower, and the maintainer. Now, when you first hear those, it's super tempting to view them as personality types, right? I mean, we all know someone who loves dreaming up endless new ideas, and we all definitely know someone else who always ends up, well, sweeping up the mess.
Section 1. From Personalities to Functions. The Pivot.
Here's where Thingra points out we've got to shift our entire paradigm. We have to stop seeing these as a fixed box of personalities, as nouns. Think about it. If it's just about who you are, the conversation basically ends at self-knowledge. You take a test, you say, hey, I'm a builder, and that's it. You move on. But if we view these as functions, as verbs, everything changes. It becomes about what the system actually needs. These are dynamic actions that any person, any team, or any system can step up and perform with varying degrees of strength.
Section 2. The 5 essential functions. The non-optional cycle.
And this right here perfectly illustrates that translation. Just look at how Thingra takes Cherny's behavioral archetypes and flips them into 5 critical functions. The prototyper, that becomes creation, the actual act of generating a new possibility. The builder becomes construction, turning that possibility into something that really works. The sweeper is simplification, removing the stuff that just doesn't belong anymore. The grower becomes adaptation, revising the system based on real-world feedback. And finally, the maintainer becomes preservation, keeping the whole system reliable over time. This pivot from fixed nouns to dynamic verbs is literally the key to the entire framework.
So here is the absolutely crucial point. This cycle is not optional at all. A system has to cycle through all 5 of these functions. If a system only performs some of them, or maybe performs them in the wrong proportion for whatever stage it's in, it doesn't just fail randomly. It develops a very specific kind of failure. Actually, it's the exact failure that the missing function would have prevented.
Section 3. The coverage question. Diagnosing system failure.
We've all been there. Something breaks, and our immediate reaction is to ask, okay, what went wrong? But honestly, that question is way too vague, and it almost always just leads to finger-pointing. Instead, we need to ask the true coverage question. Which function is no one performing? That one simple question instantly shifts the dynamic from blaming individuals to actually analyzing the health and completeness of the system itself.
Let's think about what happens when coverage actually fails. Imagine a highly generative person who just cannot stop ideating. And hey, they aren't flawed. But if they're constantly doing creation without any construction, they're leaving a massive seat empty. The system desperately needs someone, or something, to step in and build. On the flip side, what about a company that constantly rewards flashy launches? They look incredible on the surface, sure, but if they starve the quiet behind-the-scenes work of preservation, they are systematically underperforming. They're just going to coast on their accumulated infrastructure until the exact worst possible moment, when the whole thing unexpectedly and spectacularly collapses.
Section 4. Humans, AI, and Flourishing. The Redistribution of Functions.
Now, the central organizational question of our time is this. Artificial intelligence is about to redistribute these exact 5 functions: creation, construction, simplification, adaptation, and preservation between humans and machines in ways literally no previous technology ever has. Up until now, we haven't really known how to talk about this shift effectively. But by understanding these 5 distinct functions, we finally have the precise language we need. We can look at a workflow and ask, okay, is AI handling the construction while the humans handle the creation and adaptation? It's a total game changer.
And the beauty of this framework is how universal it is. Whether you lead a team of software developers, run a massive global business, parent a family through the utter chaos of daily life, or if you're just trying to understand what your own specific strengths are actually for, this clarifies your role within a dynamic system. You aren't just a static type of person. You are an active agent, capable of performing vital functions to keep your environment flourishing.
So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to chew on for your own life, your own work, and your own family. The most important question isn't what you're inherently good at or what your official job title happens to be. The question that truly matters is this: what does your system desperately need that no one is currently doing? If you can identify that missing verb and step right into that function, you just might be the absolute key to keeping your entire system alive and thriving.